It's trash. I hate it. Yeah. Today we'll be doing a brutally honest review of the game Jujutsu Infinite. Yes, I do admit I'm a bit late, but I didn't want to even consider making this video until I got to max level and explored all the in-game content that the game had to offer. Now for this video's sake, I'll be focusing more on the main points of the game, like the storyline, the leveling system, the PvP, etc. I'm gonna try to avoid things about like the quality of life of the game, like chests getting in your way when you're trying to fight or having to watch the boss use domain for the millionth time. So yeah, I'm just gonna try to avoid things like that so we can have this video go smooth. So without further delay, let's get into the video. The innate techniques are basically just a copy and paste of all the other anime games on Roblox. Whether it's clans, cosmetics, abilities, traits, whatever, there's always going to be some sort of spinning gambling system in place just to get money off of its players. And to nobody's surprise, the main way to get spins is through codes. So, you put all your codes in you can find off the internet or off Twitter or whatever else, and let's say you get around 300 spins. Now, here's where the first problem starts. First, the spins are slow. Like, painstakingly slow. That was 8 seconds for one spin, and since you can do 2 spins at one time, that means if we carry the 1, divide by 3, convert pi to the square root of 2, that would mean that it would be around 20 minutes for you to finish 300 spins. And mind you, 300 spins is a minimum. You could get like 500 or so, and that just means you'll just be sitting there like an idiot hoping that you get a special grade for 20 or more minutes. And honestly, that's not even the main problem. The main problem is that, yeah, you guessed it, there's a skip spin button for 150 Robux because, yeah, why wouldn't there be, I guess? But we'll come back to the cash grab aspects of the game later, and let's focus on the spins themselves, or rather the lack of ways to get them. From what I've seen, there are only 3 ways to get spins: codes, daily quests and logins, and just outright buying them. The daily quests usually give around 5 to 10 spins, which is pathetic, lackluster, and especially since the pity system is 750 spins for a special grade. So all in all, considering how important these spins are, and that they're the main way for you to get your techniques and the things that actually draw you towards the game, if you're unlucky enough and you use all the codes and use all the spins possible and you don't have any other ways to get them and you're just stuck with something you don't like, then, well, too bad, so sad, I guess. Like, it's just a sad thing because this is not surprising, as the majority of other Roblox games follow the exact same pattern as this. I'm sorry I had to do that, but I just couldn't find the words to explain the disgust I feel when I look at this game's progression. The progression in this game is terrible. Just god awful. You can maybe find brief amount of fun up to level 20 or so as you learn the game's mechanics and how the game works, but around level 60 or 70, all fun has just been lost and drained as you come to the realization that the grind is agonizing. It's just a mesh of Fortnite dropping to a mission, easily completing it, collecting the chests, then repeating it over and over and over again. And I'd like you to pay attention to how I said easily. For the most part, there's no actual difficulty to this game outside of boss raids on insane difficulty. The enemies you fight do virtually no damage to you, so you're just kinda stuck grinding in this long loop with nothing to excite you, you know? Like, there is no hard challenge that makes you actually sit up in your chair and start trying. You really just turn off your brain and go from mission to mission, occasionally doing a boss or some other raid. And what's the most unforgivable sin of it all? Nothing really changes. From level 60 to level 370, there's no new maps, there's no new game mechanics, there's no new NPCs. Like maybe some bosses that come here and there, but they get old really fast when you have to watch them use their domain for the millionth time. Like, games are meant to be enjoyed, so why does it feel like I'm wasting my life when I'm grinding this game? Like, I'd love to say more, but I just can't think of anything else to say. The progression in this game is just so mundane and bland and boring that it's just mind-numbing. As for the visuals, the game looks amazing. From top to bottom, I just can't say anything bad about the visuals. I personally love them. The visuals look great. The domain expansions, the cutscenes, the skills, pretty much everything looks nice. Like, it's definitely one of the high points of the game. For the most part, I'll probably be singing nothing but praises for how the game looks. It's aesthetically pleasing. So I'm kind of exaggerating, but let me explain. There's a beginning and an end to the story, but that's about it. It's like they hit the drawing board and they cooked up an intro and a conclusion to the story, but then just basically said screw the rest of it, screw the middle of it. To make a short story even shorter, basically we're getting dragged by Sukuna until Gojo shows up and saves us. Gojo and Sukuna fight, they squabble a little bit, slap each other around, and then somehow in the middle of a domain clash, Kenjaku just drops in out of nowhere. He just pops his head in to say hello. Now how Kenjaku is able to jump inside two domains clashing together unharmed is beyond me, but whatever, I don't understand logic these days. Kenjaku uses the energy from these domains to create something called a merger. I'm not too sure what the goal was creating the merger, but whatever. Gojo gets caught inside this merger, explosion, whatever you want to call it, and his consciousness is merged into ours, making us his vessel. So honestly, it's a pretty solid concept. It's not perfect, but it's definitely got some room to grow. It's definitely got some room where you can say, okay, I can see a plot that could form out of this. Plus, the cutscenes were beautiful to watch, so you can't complain too much, right? So, you're probably wondering, what's next after that? That seems like a solid plot. There must be some more cooking up, right? Right? Oh, come on! Yup, after that, it's pretty much just a big nothing burger. You go to the clan head, she'll give you some random mundane quest about going to some random house to kill curses? Why? I don't know. Not even addressing the fact that we have Gojo in our bodies. We're just pretty much getting sent out into the field almost immediately to go kill some curses, cause why not? We need to hurry this game up. And then after that, it's just mission farming. Again and again and again and again. After a bit, you unlock investigation raids and then boss raids, which to nobody's surprise gives no additional lore. I genuinely tried to read through all the dialogue in between the missions. I genuinely tried. I went through, back when I streamed it, I went through all the clips I could find and tried to read the dialogue to see maybe if I'm missing something, if there actually is lore being plopped into certain quests that I just wasn't looking at the time. And for the most part, there's pretty much absolutely nothing. Maybe there's small things here and there, but nothing that impactful, especially when you're grinding. When you're grinding, you're not even gonna pay attention to it because you gotta get all the way to max level and you just don't really feel like sitting around reading through all the nonsense that they're talking about. For the most part, it's mainly just, oh no, some random sorcerers came through and lit the village on fire. Quick player, go put it out. And then it's just never really brought up again. Or it's like, oh no, some really strong curse appeared. Player, go handle it. And then you just go handle it and that's about it. Nothing really happens. There is no lore, there is no certain aspects of it that grow in any way. It's just quest farming, bandit beating. That's really it. What was the point? Like, with all the nonsense in the middle, you think that this was a game that just didn't have a plot. you know? Anyway, just talking about the plot right now is leaving a terrible taste in my mouth, so I'll just show you the ending cutscenes. Bro, why did the recording cut out? Yo! Why did the recording cut out? Bro, and I can't even repeat it. I can't. Oh my. This is so stupid. Why did the. On my second time watching, I actually really enjoyed these cutscenes. They're fun, they're very engaging. It's a nice looking scene. I genuinely love looking at it. It looks amazing, right? But that's the problem. It doesn't feel earned. It doesn't feel like I've been traveling and my player has been through so much, because it's just literally been a bandit beater up till then. You had the intro that looked great, and then after that it's just me doing missions and mission after mission after mission until I finally get all the way up to level 300 or so, and then you finally give me another cutscene, but I'm already worn out. I already am tired of the game. I've already been grinding for so long and my complaints have been thrown out into the air. I don't even really want to play the game anymore. I'm just grinding because I'm close to max level now. So putting a cutscene there of all places just really doesn't do much for me. It's nice, but in the moment, I'm just tired of the game. I just want to hit max level. Maybe if you gave that to me when I was around level like 100 or so, that would have been fun. That would have kept me into the game, kept me enticed. Like, okay, I'm not that far into the game and there's still a lot of fire content. But instead, you put it all the way at the end where people are just going to tune it out, just tune it out. Moral of the story is, if there was cutscenes like that throughout the entire storyline, the entire progression from level 1 to max level, I feel like I would have been more engaged, and I don't know if anybody else shares my opinion, but I feel like everybody else would have been more engaged and more excited for what's to come. But whatever, I've been talking about the storyline for too long. I'm just gonna let it go. There really isn't much to say. I mean, 90% of the PvE in this game is just light work. It's no difficulty whatsoever. For some missions, you don't even have to throw a punch to complete it. Outside of bosses, none of the enemies really do considerable damage to you. You'd have to really just take your hands off your keyboard for like 3 minutes just to die to some of these NPCs. The only difficulty comes with bosses when they're on a higher difficulty, like nightmare difficulty, because now they're just hitting for ridiculous damage and you actually have to concentrate and start dodging and blocking things. So really, outside of bosses, you can just turn off your brain and hit buttons and you'll most likely win. I'm genuinely so surprised to say this. I feel shocked saying it right now. This feels like blasphemy, but I don't hate PvP as much as I thought I would. Full transparency, I was full on ready for the game to just be terrible through and through. I was ready to have a terrible time and completely talk trash about the PvP system. But I personally don't hate it. I mean, it's got issues. It needs some rebalancing. Some things are too overpowered, some things are useless, but it felt solid for my first few games. I mean, I lost those games because I suck and my build sucks, but the loss didn't feel as annoying or grimy as I would expect. It didn't feel like an infinite combo simulator, nor did it feel like a use a big move then run away type of game, you know? Now, this could just be because of the people I played against. They may not have been that good, and maybe down the line, when people learn the game more and learn some more of the mechanics, I'll have a completely different opinion on PvP. But for now, judging off how I feel about it, these matches have went alright, and I can't say I hate it. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's far from perfect, and there are definitely balance changes that need to happen, like Infinity being so overwhelmingly better than almost every other technique. But you can call me crazy if you want to. I'd say it has potential. I'd say down the line with further rebalancing and changing of some things and maybe making events happen quicker and etc, 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 I personally feel like the game could definitely have a solid PvP system and maybe even somewhat enjoyable. Yeah, I got bad news. Santa isn't real, the Easter Bunny doesn't love you, and this game is a cash grab. Simple as that. Any honest attempts to make a good game were thrown out the window the moment they added a skip spin game pass. It's almost like the game was designed so that at each point in your playthrough, there needs to be something you feel like you need to buy. Oh, you got 500 spins and it's taking forever to use them all? Skip spin button, 150 Robux. Oh, you want to spin off your talent but you're scared you won't be able to get it back? Innate bag, 800 Robux. Want to use more innates at the same time? Innate slot, 400 Robux each. It's almost like a good game was being made, then somewhere along the production line, they saw how much money low-effort bandit beater games were making. Like when I first got on the game, I saw that Heavenly Restriction was locked behind Robux just to benefit off the explosion of players they'll get on release. It's not actually obtainable right now. There's no possible way to obtain Heavenly Restriction outside of paying for it. Even though it was in the trailer, one of the trailers, Gojo fighting Toji, Heavenly Restriction was in the trailer, but the only way to use it is by paying 1,700 Robux. The grind is so long that not buying 2 times XP will drive you insane. The item notifier, which I can't even fathom why it's in the game, genuinely, I can't even imagine what they were cooking to put an item notifier in this game. I don't know. Like at some point you go from being mad to just feeling disappointed. It's like all the potential getting thrown into the toilet and flushed for the sole sake of cash, money. At the end of the day, when you pull up the list, you can just slap this game on it as another game that could have been amazing and raised the bar for anime games if it was just made a bit differently. What could have been an amazing quality game instead falls into the pool of games that were highly anticipated on release, but almost completely forgotten after a few months. Overall, I'd rate this game a 5 out of 10. It got 5 points for visuals, cutscenes, and the potential being there. I can't stress enough how much I love a lot of the domains and a lot of the abilities in this game. It looks amazing. Plus, the fact that it's not just the special grade innates that have nice looking moves, but other rarities too. Like I I can't even say how good that is, because most games they would have it so the really, really rare stuff has the best content and the best looking stuff. But in this game, like, not just the special grades, not just the highest rarities, but also the legendaries too that are much easier to obtain. Judgment, Hydrokinesis, and Volcano, they all three of them have domains, and I really love how they look. They look amazing, and a lot of games don't have that. Having lower rarities have good looking, visually appealing stuff. That's very rare. So I would like to give kudos to the game for that. It definitely looks like they put a lot of effort into the visuals in the game. But the main reason that it's a 5 out of 10 and it lost 5 points is just about everything else. The fact that domains, some of the most important things about Jujutsu Kaisen, one of the most coolest things about Jujutsu Kaisen, the thing that most people are very much interested in, I promise you, them being locked behind getting domain shards, and God knows how hard getting a domain shard is. The fact that I'd rather be put in some sort of Saw trap than ever do the grind to max level on this game ever again. The fact that Heavenly Restriction is only obtainable through Robux. There's just such a long list of things that I could say that I just don't even want to get into, because I would be here for at least another 10 minutes just naming off things that just make no sense and hold the game back from what it could be. I'm trying not to get upset, but when I actually think about it and actually break it down in my head, a game that looks this beautiful and a game that had so much potential, it will almost most definitely fall off in a few months, because it's just not right. It's like, this is hurting my head. I'm sorry. I'm just getting too worked up. I'll probably return to the game from time to time just to mess around and see if they add anything new. But unfortunately, I just can't say I'm attached to it. Let me know how you feel about the game. I'd love to know. I'd love to know if you have any comments. If you disagree with me, let me know. If you agree, let me know. Make sure you like and subscribe if you want to. I'm not forcing you to. And as always, y'all have a good night / day / whatever time it is for you. Thank you for watching, and as always, peace out.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.